Hello.
Hi, I'm Emily Chan. I'm the contributing sustainability editor at British Vogue.
I am Renée Morin, and I am the Chief Sustainability Officer at eBay.
Amazing. So, in one sentence, what future are you helping to build for the fashion industry?
One sentence is tough. However, what I'd really like to see is that we get to a place where there are only good, durable products on the hangers and shelves. What future are you working to document to make this visible, or something similar?
I'm advocating, I think, for an equitable and livable future. And I think that, like how we think about longevity of products is part of that, but I think also thinking about the wider ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in my role, I can get that.
What is one strategic value guiding your work right now?
I mean, sustainability drives everything that I do, so I think we can talk to that as a value. But also integrity. We want to make sure that as we represent eBay and our sustainability efforts, that they are clear, that they are based in science, that they are transparent. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we document not only all the great things that we're doing, but the methodologies behind that as well. And we also use third parties to verify a lot of our work, because I think having that trust with the consumer and with investors is just really important in sustainability. And showing up as a corporation, showing up as eBay in particular, we have to have trust in our marketplace. If we don't have trust, then the buyers and the sellers get scared of selling things to each other, because you want to make sure you're going to have that transaction take place in a way that is seamless. And so trust in our platform is really important. And then we back that up with the trust that we instill in the sustainability efforts, not only in re-commerce where secondhand goods are sold, but how we operate as a company. We're 100% renewable energy at this point. We have long-term goals for reducing carbon emissions. So all that, I think, helps to circle back into the trust factor.
The challenge, I believe, holding that value in fashion is, so I guess in terms of trust, I guess there's a lot of worries about greenwashing, especially in recent years when sustainability has become more of a focus for some brands. I think consumers have become maybe more skeptical and maybe not so trusting because they worry that they are being greenwashed, which is something that we need to overcome by, I guess, seeing more transparency and accountability from brands.
Is that something you think your role can help with?
Yeah, I think definitely part of the storytelling, part of also knowledge sharing as well. Like I think that part of the issue is that, consumers don't really know where to start. But I also do think there needs to be a responsibility from, companies and brands to make sure that their communication is clear and they're being honest about what they're doing as well.
Yeah, I fully agree. We will be launching our 7th, 8th, or 9th impact report in May, which really is the end-to-end of our sustainability, our social, and our economic journey as a company. And having that transparency helps to alleviate the potential for greenwashing, because we definitely don't want to be in that camp.
For sure.
What's another value shaping the future you're building or emphasizing to your audience?
I think a value that I'm shaping in my work definitely is making sure that we hear from the voices of people that we don't often hear about in fashion. So I'm thinking about people within the supply chain, garment workers, farmers. Obviously, they have such a huge role to play when it comes to pushing forward some of this change that we're often talking about, but often we don't hear from their voices. So I think it's really important to hear from those kind of underrepresented voices in these sorts of forums.
Yeah, I fully agree. The supply chain is always very complex. It's a bit different for eBay because of where we sit in the ecosystem. We're about resale. So we enable that for our small businesses, for consumers. But we want to make sure, if we can, that the upstream supply chain is also being incorporated into the brands that are being represented on our site. Where do you see this falling short in industries like fashion?
What I've seen often in the sustainability space is there's a lot of focus on the environment, which is obviously really important, and the climate crisis is going to affect us all. But I think sometimes the people that work in the fashion industry are not centered in some of these conversations. And I think that's definitely something that, as an industry we can improve on to make sure that, these voices are centered and we are able to have, there's a lot of talk about a just transition and ensuring that we are bringing the workers in the fashion industry along with us when we're affecting some of these changes.
Yeah, I would agree. I think people think of sustainability automatically go to the green side. Technically, having been in this industry forever, it is economic, social, and environmental. Those three legs have to be together for there to be true sustainability. So I fully agree. What would it take to change this? I guess the quiet voices.
I think change can come from what we were saying about transparency. Like, I think that if there's more efforts from brands to actually talk more about their supply chain and talk more about, what they're paying their garment workers, what they're paying farmers in their supply chain, then, automatically I think some of the people that we often don't hear from or like maybe aren't acknowledged within the fashion industry become acknowledged. But I think it has to be a real push from the industry as a whole. And I think, we all have a role to play in this, from the consumer to the journalist to brands.
Yeah, and actually government too. And there's some interesting things happening around the digital product passport, which should help to have more information about the supply chain. I'm not sure how much is going to be focused on the human voice, but at least it's a start. Another value I believe will define the future of fashion is recognizing, I think, consumer preferences. This is something I'm hopeful about. We've done some studies looking forward, typically in sustainability reporting, last year's information, but doing some modeling looking forward into what consumer preferences will look like in a more resource-constrained world. And we're seeing that there's potentially a swing towards more sustainable products and purchasing habits. Our global merchandise volume is a big part of our business already, re-commerce is, but making sure that fashion as a whole is more steeped in having, again, those durable goods available. And so if the brands are working to have more durable goods, then we have better choices on the shelves, and then the consumer preferences is there, and they're able to then consume those products that have a second or third life.
So I've seen consumer preference really play a part, as you say, in the e-commerce space. I think it's an area that I find particularly exciting because I really have seen from, our readerships, from, friends and family, that I think resale has become like a part of consumer behavior in a way that it wasn't really before. Like, it's a natural part now. And we've really seen that behavioral shift, I think, in the last few years, where it just makes sense to buy secondhand for a lot of people. They're able to buy the product that they want for a more affordable price. They're able to resell things in their own wardrobe and make money from it. And I think it's one of those areas where it just makes sense, both financially and from, a fashion perspective. And I think that's really promising because we've seen that behavioral shift over a relatively short period of time.
I feel like you can work for eBay. Well said. I fully agree. And I think we've done studies on re-commerce in particular, not just fashion, because we sell basically everything on eBay. But we're seeing that last year's report that over 90% of the younger demographics were going to buy as much or more pre-loved in the following year. We continue to see shifts of the ick factor being gone, that thrifting is cool, that finding those unique finds, like, it is happening more and more, and the data proves it. So it's a nice shift to see.
Yeah, definitely. So promising when sometimes in this space it can feel like there aren't those
overwhelming sometimes.
Forward steps. Yeah.
Okay, one shift, practical, cultural, that could move us there faster. I mean, this is super practical, but especially with an online experience, making it more engaging, things like eBay Live, and also making the process of listing things online as simple as possible. We've invested, time and effort into being able now to type in a few words and the rest of the listing populates itself. And you can go around your closet or go around your room and start populating and listing things with much more ease than you could a few years ago. So I think that in itself helps with the selling. And then you're also probably going to buy some secondhand things as well because they're on there when you're looking.
Yeah, I think it's that ease and kind
taking
of
the friction out.
Yeah.
One word for the future you believe in.
I think equitable. A voice the industry must listen to.
the consumers. One thing fashion needs to unlearn.
That more is more. I think that sometimes more is not more.
It was great talking to you. I like having the different perspectives come to life from both where I sit as a CSO and you as a reporter. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's been such an interesting conversation.
Well done.